Hey guys, I just want to apologize if I deleted anybody's comments recently. I normally disable the comments on my YouTube videos. Honestly, simple reason is I actually am a blue collar Catholic, and I actually work about 14 hours a day, 6 days a week, at a pretty physically demanding job. So I find it hard to make the time to read all the comments, and I don't want to be rude and ignore you guys and just leave them hanging there. So I try to reply. But when I did disable them last night, I thought it would just disable future comments, and then I was going to take the time to answer everybody. So I apologize. I didn't realize all the comments up there were going to disappear like they did. So I'm making this video to reply to the main theme of most of the comments. Most of the comments were, and I want to thank you, they were all civil and respectful and thoughtful. None of them were nasty. I've had some nasty ones in the past, believe it or not. But the main theme I was getting was, Pope Francis says things that don't sound very Christian, okay? And so I'm just going to focus on one thing. The biggest one lately was that supposedly he said Jesus was a failure. So the media loves attacking Christians, whether you're evangelical Protestant Christian or you're a Catholic Christian. The media will always take your words out of context and make you look bad. I've seen it when I was evangelical. They did it to Billy Graham. They did it to Chuck Swindoll. They'll do it to anybody, okay? But the Pope, being the leader of the biggest Christian church in the world, he gets it the most, okay? And I can't tell you how many times I read something, I was like, wow. And then I read what he actually said, and it was totally different. So the statement I'm going to address today was, did Pope Francis really say Jesus was a failure? And I've seen the headlines, and I'm sure you think you're getting it from reliable sources, maybe CNN or MSNBC or somebody, or maybe even a Protestant website who they misunderstood what he said or took a part of it. So I don't think you guys were intentionally trying to take Pope Francis out of context. I understand how things get taken out of context. So I'm just going to actually read what he said. So the statement everybody's saying is Pope Francis said Jesus was a failure. But the context was Pope Francis was talking to leaders of the church and trying to encourage them and telling them, don't get caught up in the things of this world and judging yourself by the world standards. The world standards and Christ's standards are totally different. What's success in the world is not necessarily success in the kingdom of God. And what's failure to the world is truly success in the kingdom of God. So that was the context, but I'm going to read you verbatim what he actually said. It's pretty short, actually. So here it goes. We can get caught up measuring the value of our apostolic works by the standards of efficiency, good management, and outward success, which govern the business world. Not that these things are unimportant. We have been entrusted with a great responsibility, and God's people rightly expect accountability from us. But the true worth of our apostolate is measured by the value it has in God's eyes. To see and evaluate things from God's perspective calls for constant conversion in the first days and years of our vocation, and need I say, it calls for great humility. The cross shows us a different way of measuring success. Ours is to plant the seeds. God sees to the fruit of our labors. And if at times our efforts and our works seem to fail and produce no fruit, we need to remember that we are followers of Jesus, and his life, humanly speaking, ended in failure, in the failure of the cross. So when the media said, Pope Francis said Jesus' life was a failure, they missed a couple words there. Humanly speaking. So in the world's eyes, dying on the cross is a failure. Even to the first century Jews who were expecting a Messiah to take over and defeat the Roman Empire and create a great Israeli empire, it was failure. Even the apostles were confused at what happened. Okay? But we know as Christians, it was the greatest success story. He defeated death. He overcame death for our sake. So, humanly speaking, dying on the cross is a failure. So that's all Pope Francis was saying. And I could go through 20 others, but I picked this one because this seemed like the most popular and most recent. But I know like 20 other statements that were taken out of context, just like that I researched and see what he said. So please give your brothers the benefit of doubt when the world is attacking other Christians. Step back. And then, we all have the tendency, I don't agree with the Word of Faith movement, the health and wealth prosperity movement, but sometimes they're attacked unfairly as well, So I'm not, my inclination to say, yeah, see, I knew those guys were misleading. And then sometimes I read and I realize, okay, they were taken out of context as well. So all I'm saying is, we're supposed to love one another, and love thinks the best of, love gives the benefit of the doubt. So God bless. I hope this was helpful, and have a great day.